walking over a lava flow. This whole island, Santiago Island, is made of lava flow. I'm walking over rivers of lava. Hey, Jessie here from Jessie on a Journey. Welcome back aboard the NY Passion, where we are exploring the Galapagos Islands. In this video, I'm going to be recapping day 3 of the cruise, where we explored 2 islands, Marchena and Santiago. 2 very, very, very different experiences. The day began with a panga ride exploring the landscape and wildlife of Marchena. Just from the boat, I don't believe you're actually allowed to go on the island. And like Genovesa, it's one of the more remote, uninhabited islands of the Galapagos. So really, really cool experience. The landscape of Marchena is really interesting as well because it's known for having this big volcano in the center. So it's great for photos. So we hopped on the panga and, ridden the panga a few times, but this was a bit different. Definitely more rough. And as our guide Robert said, more like a Galapagos roller coaster, which was the perfect description. We're kind of bouncing up and down. But it was really, really worth it because we saw so many dolphins. I think we saw more than 30 dolphins. Actually, while we were getting ready, Robert, our guide, came and knocked on all our doors and was like, get ready quicker because I see dolphins right now. We want to make sure we see them. And the thing with the Galapagos is timing can be everything. So if we were 5 minutes later, we would have missed everything. This was also really exciting because Robert had told us that sometimes people don't see any wildlife and this is more of a landscape type of ride. So we were really, really fortunate to be able to see these pods of dolphins kind of playing with the panga boat. We were sort of following them around this little cove. We got some really, really great video clips of it as well. Now, while Marchena doesn't have any residents, apparently historically there has been one, and the story is a little bit gory, a little bit strange, let's say that. So it's called the Galapagos Love Affair, and it's apparently true. So this woman came over from Germany. She was called the Baroness. She wanted to own her own island. She came over with 3 lovers. One of them got swept away in a current, ended up in Marchena, and was found a while later mummified. So they say that's kind of the only known resident of Marchena. Anyway though, the scenery of the island is stunning, and you can even see small islands nearby that were once part of Marchena. But, in the Galapagos, the islands are always sinking and new islands forming. So this is a landscape that is always, always, always changing. Afterward, we set sail for Santiago, which is known for having a really visible volcanic history with all this blackened lava and cacti coming up through the ash. New view for you since the boat is moving and the light is now totally different, so I want to make sure that I'm light. Anyway, on the way to Santiago, we watched a fascinating documentary by the BBC called Born of Fire, and it had a lot to teach about the Galapagos and the wildlife and Charles Darwin, but it also had a few life lessons. For example, the importance of being adaptable. A lot of the animals that are in the Galapagos have come from other places, usually swept up by currents and brought here, and they've had to adapt to the new landscapes. For example, here in the Galapagos, you will find the only aquatic lizards in the world. And that's because these iguanas were brought over from other places and had to learn how to swim to dive underwater and get this nutrient-rich algae. So now in the Galapagos, you've got the land iguanas that stay on land, and you've also got marine iguanas. And when you think about humans who complain about everything and who can be pretty resistant to going with the flow sometimes, you've got to take a lesson from these iguanas. Another lesson is that a lot of things are dependent on the way we see them, and that we can change our circumstances and the circumstances around us based on our perception. So for so long, the people who came to the Galapagos saw it as a terrifying hell on earth. For example, the Bishop of Panama came 500 years ago and just saw this as a terrible place. Same goes for the many pirates over the years who have visited. But then Charles Darwin came, and yes, at first he saw this landscape as really harsh. But then as he began studying the plants, the animals, and noticing how on each island they seemed to have similar species that were just a little bit different from each other, he was inspired to write his book, The Origin of Species. Obviously today, people don't see the Galapagos as this, terrible place. Instead, it's a place that many people dream of coming, and when you do come here, it's incredible just because of the amount of endemic species they have here. It's incredible. And finally, nature is amazing, so respect it. Something really incredible about this trip is that I've been able to view, the different animals in their natural habitats, going about their, how they would every day, seeing their unique patterns. And it is so fascinating how much different animals and different organisms work together and work separately, and how everything kind of comes together. So for example, male frigate birds use their big red balloon throats to attract a female mate, and then after they mate, the lady will use that balloon as a little pillow to rest her head, which is very, very cute. There's also the lava lizards, which eat mosquitoes off of sea lions. So there's a really nice relationship there. The flightless cormorants bring back gifts to the nest for their partners to help bond their relationships. They're like me, they like gifts. Oh, and my new favorite bird is the winged albatross. And all you need to do is look up a YouTube video of their courtship dance and you will immediately see why. Honestly, this BBC documentary is amazing and you should definitely watch it before visiting the Galapagos, but even if you're not visiting, just watch it for fun to be amazed by nature. Okay, so after our usual 3-course lunch aboard the yacht, which is just like every video I've said, the food is a major part of this experience. We put on our snorkeling gear and we hopped in the water for a deep water snorkel. And the fish were amazing. It was really cool kind of snorkeling along these seashelves and seeing the brain coral, very, very beautiful underwater landscape. It was quite cold, I'll admit, but we did have the wetsuit, so you got used to it. Most exciting sighting of that was a sea lion actually swam through our group and right by us. So that was really, really neat to see. Luckily, our group warmed up really quickly during a hike over Santiago's lava flow. The entire landscape pretty much is this lava that's solidified and it has this rope-like texture. It's actually a special type of lava that dries in this way, so it's fascinating to see the patterns and textures on the ground. We didn't see much wildlife here, but just taking in the lunar landscape, so otherworldly, with Sullivan Bay in the background and Bartolome Island in the background, which is what we're exploring today. It was just really incredible to see and one of my favorite experiences so far. And my fiance, who's an earth science teacher, was really, really, really in love with this stop. To end the day, we had the usual pre-dinner canapes and drinks, and then a delicious meat barbecue dinner under the stars was the perfect way to end the day. And today we are exploring Bartolome Island, which I'll be sharing about in the next video. We'll be hiking, we'll be hopefully seeing some penguins, so I'm really, really excited for today. So make sure to subscribe to get notified when that video publishes, as well as other travel videos.